this show is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. And they have something new going on this time, Deke, because we know it's the big game this weekend. Y'all know we can't say the big game. We got to go to the big game. You know the game I'm talking about this weekend, the big one with the team from LA and the team from Cincinnati. You know them two teams we talking about, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, what DraftKings Sportsbook is doing for all of the first-time users out there, baby. If you use the promo code MOATS, like it always is, on this bet this week for the big game, 56-1 odds, okay? So you got the team from LA, you got the team from Cincinnati. Put your money down on one of them, okay? 56-1 odds. So essentially, a $5 bet will win you up to $280 in free bets. Now, this is the kicker with this, right? So, to break it down for you, you put your $5 in on the LA team, right? You're like, I like the LA team. They got a kid, from Pennsylvania that I happen to like a lot. All right, we win the bet. Boom, we get that 280. From there, you take that 280, and now you can use that to bet on anything and everything you want right on DraftKings Sportsbook. So,
great deal.
Stop wasting time, bro. It is a great.
Can I say this about DraftKings?
Talk about
it,
bro. Absolutely.
I really don't like betting hockey, but. Well, and one of the reasons is a lot of these betting apps don't have nice same-game parlays that you can use. They won't allow it. I go to DraftKings. They have some really nice ones, and I really appreciate what they're doing with the hockey betting.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it. So, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to put money on the big game, get your 56-1 odds, or if you want to put money on the ice, baby, either way, use that promo code MOATS. But, Deke, we also know that at times, some people have a little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
We know at times, Deke, some people can overdo it.
With the big game coming up, I could see that happening. I mean, many props.
It is the big
So many
game.
parlays you could be doing.
I mean, it is the big game. So with that being said, with the big game, I got to do it like this, okay? Because if you know someone, or if you happen to have a gambling problem, crisis counseling, or you might need referral services, well, Deke, I got to tell you, you got two things you got to do. First off, you need to dial 877-8-HOPE-NY, okay? For my New Yorkers out there, 877-8-HOPE-NY. But for everybody else that's not living in New York, y'all know what y'all need to call. Y'all need to call 1-800-GAMBLER. I say, you need to call 1-800-GAMBLER. I say.
Kyler Murray has unfollowed the Cardinals on IG and has deleted all related content.
Oh, Lord, we doing the social medias. All right. Google it. See what's going on with him, man. I have no clue what's going on with my man.
I think
Kyler.
that's it. I think that's all you need to know. He's unhappy.
Do
you want to talk about trades?
I'm going to say, so he's in play now?
Yeah, definitely. I think
definitely.
I think he shoots up to number 1 on our list. Actually, if he's available for trade,
he does. Okay,
I do for sure.
Okay.
The speed, dude, he's got a cannon.
So let's talk about it. Then. Let's talk. Let's talk.
Proven
college.
to be a really solid quarterback in the NFL. Young still.
Mm-hmm.
Could fit Canada's system. I think he goes right to number 1 on our list.
Okay.
I'm for it.
Okay.
We'd probably have to give up the most to get him, though. He's in that Deshaun Watson category.
Mm-hmm.
He's cleared of things, though.
Okay, so I'll say...
Kyler Murray's good.
He is cleared of things. That's what... I love your detail right there, Deke. I love your detail. All right. With Kyler, first off, we know elite level athletic ability. Mobile. Right? Definitely dual threat, can run like a son of a gun, but at the same time, like you talked about, has a really good arm. I mean, I love the accuracy, the ball placement. He takes chances. Definitely complete. The big knock on him, obviously, is his size. He is a very small quarterback. Doesn't necessarily take a lot of bumps and bruises, though, because he really doesn't take a lot of clean shots, but...
He's injured, though. He does get randomly injured.
Yeah, dude,
as the season goes.
His injury, the one that happened to him at the end was like on a fluke last play of the game type situation. It was nonsense, man. But we know with him, he is a smaller quarterback. So with that, some of the things you have to worry about is obviously moving the pocket so he can see at times in terms of throwing it. And then obviously we also know, like I said, it's one of the things that makes him exciting, but one of the things that wide receivers sometimes complain about is just because of how tiny he is And because he's always on the move at times, the ball, you don't necessarily know where it's coming from. It will just pop up on you at times. I don't think it's that big of an issue, but at the same time, I'm not an NFL wide receiver. So if those guys say that at times can be a little bit more challenging than a traditional bigger quarterback that you can actually see and you know the release angles and stuff like that, I just have to take their word for it because I'm not an expert as a wide receiver. But with that, though, I do like him a lot. I guess my big knock on him, like I said, is going to be the cost because he is a former number 1 overall pick on a rookie deal, but he's 3 years in the league.
Ooh, we are going to have to pay him soon.
Absolutely. Rookie of the year winner. So not only do you...
2-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah, I'm about to say, so you throw all the accolades in there, even though he has 2 years remaining when you talk about 4th year plus 5th year option. Quarterbacks like Kyler Murray don't play on the 5th year. Quarterbacks like Kyler Murray get extended this year, this offseason. So when I think of this in terms of,
that's why
it's probably a big reason why in terms of why he would be upset. Yeah, if he's coming to them and during this time of year is when the negotiation typically starts. I remember me sharing the same feeling towards the Steelers organization right around this time. In fact, I was 3 weeks later because I was right around the combine when I got pissed off with the team. And that's when our communication stopped.
You didn't scrub your social media?
I did not. I've always, first off, I don't feel like taking the time to go through and delete all the pictures. I'm like, listen, if y'all want to know how I feel, just ask me.
Oh, yeah. What did he, did he delete everything?
Yeah, that's my thing. I'm like, just ask me. That takes a lot of time and effort, bro, to go through and delete every single picture that you post. You know, I post a lot of pictures with the team when I was with them.
Let me see if he actually deleted everything.
If he deleted all the pictures, bro, that's extreme.
If you got rid of Cardinals in your profile,
maybe
that's one thing. All right, so oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's just profile, and it doesn't look like the Cardinals logo is visible from his helmet. That in Oklahoma.
That's interesting. But honestly, like for me.
He just says green light.
Man, I remember like you get upset because during negotiations, the first thing that happens is what? You try to promote yourself that you should get X amount. The team rebuttals with you are this and this and this. We should pay you this amount. Most of the time, most of the time that initial number is not what you think it's supposed to be. It might end there. I know with me and the Steelers, it ended better than what we thought. But at the time, it was like, yo, y'all low key disrespectful to start this thing out. So I could easily understand a guy like Kyler being a little upset, man. But to go through and delete, he legit.
I don't like that. If any, that's a little red flag.
That's emotional, man. That's
a little red flag.
It's super emotional, bro.
I really don't like that because ultimately you're going to be doing negotiations with them. You're still on their roster.
Yeah, but I don't think you've experienced negotiations, but like NFL bro, some of the stuff that they say, like I told you, bro, like for the longest time, I had issue with Omar. I was like, bro, I can't talk to you right now. Like some of the stuff that we had to say in negotiations, like. We can't be friends. Now it got better and we're good now. Don't worry about it. Everybody, we're good. But during the time, it's like, no. Because you feel
it gets personal.
Absolutely. When you're over here like, yo, my arm hurt.
What do you think? They called him Mini-Man or something?
My knee hurt. Yeah, bro.
They called him like Mighty Mouse?
Man, they hit you. He come in there, yo, I need 40. Sean got he got 40. He got in trouble. I'm clean. I ain't done nothing wrong. I need 40. And they hit you with it. Now we'll pay you 30. You're like, hold on, bro.
You think they bring up his height?
Why wouldn't they?
You think they would?
Why wouldn't they?
Take a shot.
Listen, they hit me with the, well, you know, Arthur, you're not really 6'4", 260. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what we're going on. I thought y'all telling me it didn't matter how I got here. It didn't matter what I look like. If I could play, I could play. So when it's game day, it's if I could play, I could play. When it's negotiations, it's, you ain't 6'4", 260. Oh. So yeah, it's that brings up, man. They will bring up a lot, man.
Okay, so you're saying maybe it's not as much of a red flag.
No. The
bad decision making.
To me, I would say he's young also. Remember when I went through this, man, I was 20, was that 26? Like 26 time frame, because it was going into my 6th year when I did the new negotiation, right? The 5th year, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was a regular vet minimum. It was still nice money, but it was a vet minimum deal. That next deal was where I got paid. So when I thought of that, I was like, man, I was definitely more mature. So I handled it in a way better way. But my immaturity was this. For Kyler, he might have just did the social media, but he still might have his phone open to those guys. I was like, yo, don't call me ever again. And that's why when you hear me talk about it, and I was like, the reason I signed back was because the one person that I didn't have blocked was Coach Tomlin. And he was the one who hit me up. He hit me up literally I was supposed to fly down on a Monday. He hits me up on a Saturday telling me to come in the office on Monday. He was like, yo, come in here because free agency starting on that Tuesday. So it was like, yo, come in here on Monday before you fly out. Let's just have a conversation. And he was literally the only person that I was going to talk to. Everybody else, I was like, yo, don't call my phone. Like, you've already had your chances. You disrespect me too many times. I know these players on this team. I know the guys you're talking about. My numbers are better. I'm nicer. I'm way more athletic. I don't want to hear any of it. So, yeah, I can understand for Kyler. But like I said, for Kyler, hopefully his phone is still good.
So maybe, he's doing it more for the PR standpoint. He's
for me, I was like, I don't
political game with it.
Right. I never was big on publicly, let's get mad. And at the same time, too, social media during that time wasn't, it was big, but it wasn't like to where it is now where we're asking who's following who and things like that. But for me, my response was, bro, I'm not going to argue with you because I don't like to argue. I don't do that. No. I don't have time for arguing. If you don't think I'm good enough, or if you keep telling me I'm the third best guy, and Jarvis Jones and Jason Wills is retired, Debo's not on the roster right now, and I'm the third best guy. Oh, no, we ain't got nothing to talk about. That was just my energy, bro.
I'm with you. The thing that would concern me with Murray is just what we'd have to give up. Like, would you rather have Malik Willis, you draft him at 20, and have, 4 years with him on a rookie contract, and the extra cap space now that we don't have to pay for him, 35, 40 million on a contract that we would with Kyler Murray? Or would you rather give up first round picks galore for Murray and pay him that contract? More I'm thinking of it, maybe you just stick with the rookie quarterback formula or sign a guy on the cheap in free agency.
This situation is different for me because typically when we're talking about this, it's like, hey, you're giving up a ton for guys that are older. Aaron Rodgers, older. Russell Wilson, older. Not old, but older. Deshaun Watson, a lot of baggage off field, right? So all three of those situations, it, to me personally, never really made sense to give up a ton of assets for those players when you talk about contract availability and length of time we would have him here. Jimmy G is another guy because when you talk about what you give up, but you have to bring in that contract versus where his play is, it doesn't make the most sense. Kyler is different. Kyler makes a lot of sense in the sense of, yes, he's young. Yes, he's expensive, but he's already proven that he's QB1. He's already proven that he's flirting with franchise quarterback. We said, I think you put him in there. I said he's like I need to see a little bit more from him, but
we needed some good playoff performances this year. He didn't give that to us.
Right. So it's like you can see he's right in that vein. So at the same time, like he's not old. He's not 38, 39 where you're worried about, I'm going to get him for 2 to 3 years and that's it. No, this is a guy that you could have for the next 10 plus years, realistically.
True.
This is also a guy that you talk about dual threat ability. Can he play in Matt Canada's system? Absolutely he can. We know what today's NFL is. One of the biggest reasons why Malik Willis is talked about so much right now is because when you cut that Senior Bowl tape on, he has something that the other guys don't have. When the coverage is what it is, when nothing's open, he can make a play with his legs and kill you with them at times. Kyler is in that same capacity, even to a higher extent, because he's a lot faster. So with Kyler, I necessarily am not against having to give up more because he's definitely proven. And at the same time, you're going to guarantee that you would have him for way longer than you would at Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. And you don't have the risk, the whole situation with Deshaun Watson, because even if Deshaun gets cleared, it's just like, man, you still going to always be looking over your shoulder like, is there somebody else that's going to come out? Is there anything new that's going to happen just because of how hot and how many people were associated with that? Not saying that that should deter you or sway you either way, but it's the reality of it. You're going to have to always be concerned that, hey, if an allegation comes up, even if it's a fake allegation, you got to at least respect it and respond to it because of the track record with them right now. With Kyler, you're not going to have to deal with that either. So it's like I said, if you were going to do that and trade and make a package to get him, I'm cool with it because number one, he's proven. Number two, he's young and he's what we want in today's NFL, that dual threat type of guy.
You're cool with it. Are you pushing for it though?
I'm not necessarily pushing for it. I think it's one of those things I would definitely pick up a phone though.
I think I'm with you. That's the best way to put it. It would be number one on our list if we're going to make a trade. But I could see the other side of it where you keep the cap space, try to team build a little bit.
Absolutely.
You could go one way or the other, but Kyler's way more proven than any of these guys coming out right now. At least you know, this is going to be a borderline top 10 guy.
Yeah, Kyler comes in day one, you're back in that Super Bowl contending conversation immediately. Like no ifs, ands, or buts. Immediately before we draft anybody else, immediately, because he brings that to the table. He elevates. He creates a whole nother aspect that you have to account for defensively. And then when you talk about the talent that we already have, now we're like, hey, we're spot filling, right? We need a O lineman here. We need maybe a linebacker here. We need this guy over here. It's a lot different in terms of that because you don't necessarily feel the need to, hey, I got to get the best version of a D lineman. You don't have to feel like that when you got Kyler Murray at quarterback because you know, hey, we're going to be able to keep up. We're going to be able to score. We're going to be okay right here. Even if we can't get an A player, we can get a B player over there because we got Kyler. It's just different in terms of what he brings to the table in contrast to a Malik Willis, a Kenny Pickett, or any of these guys we're talking about drafting. It's like
they might not win the job.
Right. It's like they legitimately might not win the job. Whereas
at least for this year, right? Kyler's
not a debate. Kyler coming here, man, that's QB1. That's the jersey they selling in stores as soon as he gets here. Like, we know that.
Yeah, we'd have to break out number one. And
yeah.
It's unofficially retired because of Gary Anderson, number one. So we'd have to unofficially unretire it. It's unofficially retired, unofficially unretire number one. Break it out for Kyler. I don't know. What do you have to do? You have to get his approval or something? If it's not technically retired, I don't know. He's worthy of bringing an old number like that.
Like I said, I don't think it happens just because the package it would take would be crazy. But at the same time, if you're going to entertain the Jimmy G conversation, if you're going to entertain the Russell Wilson,
like this.
No, absolutely. Man. And that's the thing. It's like
that got me depressed over the weekend.
But you're seeing the same stuff I see, and you're hearing it from the same people that I kind of hear it from as well. And I'm like, I'm talking to NFL, I'm talking to ESPN, I'm talking to these people, and it's like, this is what they're thinking. This is what they're hearing as well. So it's not like oh my God, we're fabricating and coming up with something. No, it's like, no, they even think that. They even hear that because this is unprecedented. It's not as if we can point to, hey, this is how the Steelers always fill a quarterback hole. This is how they always do it. We can't point to that because last time they did it was 18 years ago. It's not like when we talk about building they built through the draft because they want to get this particular corner or this particular wide receiver. We don't have that information. None of us do.
For quarterback.
Right. So that's why you do entertain these things because we've, number one, seen a difference in approach from this team in terms of their willingness to trade players, whether you're acquiring them or getting rid of them. That typically hasn't been the Steelers' way. We've seen them be willing to part with first-round draft picks. Minkah Fitzpatrick, case in point. That's something that they hadn't done traditionally, but they did. We saw them move up to get Devin Bush. We've seen them do things out of the ordinary of lately. So with this situation, I do think it's something that I would at least want them to pick up the phone. Pick up the phone and just hear what the offer is. I don't like any of this predetermined.
Cardinals are offering us.
Well, no, I wish it was that case, but
we should be more aggressive.
Hey, man, we
give them a call.
Listen, man, we see what's going on with the Kyle situation. Like, yo, what's going on? Like, are y'all interested in moving him potentially? If not today, maybe down the line.
Do you think it happens that fast?
I don't think it happens that fast because right now, if you're the Cardinals,
Instagram scrubbing and you got teams calling you left and right.
What's happening right now? If you're the Cardinals, Steve Keim, Michael Bidwell, those guys are out there and they're saying, hey, people are letting them know because they not social media guys, but they're letting them know, hey, check on Kyler. Granted, they probably already have an idea based on how negotiations are going, but they have an idea. And then from there, it's like, all right, pick up the phone, call them. We got to figure out how to make it right. If I'm Arizona, I'm not moving him. It's going to take a king's ransom. But this opens the door when you know he's pissed.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, the more you think of it, with Kingsbury there, who are they gonna bring?
It's like, man, they're not
unless they're gonna draft like Malik Willis.
But we'll put it like this. Typically, you would think it's super far-fetched, but it's hard when the organization has already moved on from a top 10 quarterback within 1 year.
Rosen.
Yeah, think about that. Before you even got a chance to evaluate him, he had one season, and they moved on from him. And they didn't even want to do it, but then when they brought in Kingsbury was like, yo, Kyle's my dude. That's the guy I want. It just made sense. So it's like, I don't even put it past him. But I personally, if I'm Arizona, I'm not moving Kyler because Kyler's proven. Kyler is young. Kyler's everything that I've just highlighted in terms of why we would want him here. But I do feel like if you're the Steelers, it's worth a phone call because clearly there is something not right. Clearly there is something off. And even if the trade isn't happening right now, that's fine. In fact, they probably should say, no, we're not interested, hang up. But as negotiations go forward, if it doesn't get improved, well, hey, they got your number. They remember that. And then from there, now you start trying to figure out, okay, if this thing does have legs to it, what does the offer look like? What does a package deal look like? But until then, you just pick up the phone and just do your due diligence. If you're going to do your due diligence on Jimmy G, if you're doing due diligence on Aaron Rodgers, if you're doing due diligence on Russ, Deshaun Watson, Derek Carr, Minshew Mania, Mariota, Like, why wouldn't you do it on Kyler? Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, if you're going to do this whole list of guys, and not you, I'm talking like the team, because these are all the different quarterbacks that we've heard.
Are they actually talking about Rodgers and Russ and Deshaun right now? I heard more
like
Jimmy G.
Not like that. Definitely Jimmy G. Definitely Jimmy G. Yeah.
That's depressing.
Yeah. But I'm just saying in the sense, it's like, man, what's like, if you're going to call for that, why wouldn't you do the same out there in AZ just to figure out, like, is it a chance? Maybe Arizona's like, you know what? No, he wants 40. We're not paying him 40. How many first round picks you trying to give up? That could be a conversation as well.
Right.
But
all of a sudden, you see reports come out. Kyler Murray wants this. Whatever team trades for him, that's the extension he wants. So then teams could even know going in.
Right. But
it's almost like NBA trades.
Right.
You know?
But you just really don't know until you pick up the phone. And that's the biggest thing why I keep saying, just pick up the phone, because how many times, as soon as something like this comes up, you're going to get half people that get excited, which you should. And then you get the other half, oh, no, they would never do that. And we know why people say that, because they don't want to get their hopes up. And I get that. I understand it. But at the same time, I just think it's a disservice to your team or to building your team if you don't even entertain it by picking up a phone call. Like, how can you tell me you're trying to find the best option at quarterback that makes your team better, that does all these different things, and you not even a call?
We talked about Julio Jones last year with how our receiving core was looking. I remember we did this whole exercise. You were like, what do you think? Should Steelers trade for Julio? I'm like, yeah, it ain't even happening. There's no way. What did the Titans give up? A second-round pick?
That was it, yeah.
You mean to tell me, man,
Exactly.
You know what? If we traded a second-round pick for Julio last year, now, granted, he was injured a lot, but that wouldn't have helped our team a little bit last year if he was healthy.
That's all I'm saying.